Hello, everybody. It looks like we are live. Cool. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. If you bear with me, I'm just going to make sure I can get this live chat open so I can actually see who is chatting and who's hanging out. Hello, hello. Welcome if you're just joining. Yeah, I hope we can have a nice little Q&A, and I hope that you've brought your questions. Bear with me just a second. Let's see if we can open this up. Hello, 14 of you are on here so far. Awesome. Bear with me just, cool. 16 watching, 20 watching, awesome. Hopefully, can you guys let me know in the chat, if I can ever find out how to open it up, how you found out about this live video, if it was from the, oh, here we go, perfect. If it was from my emails or if you signed up for notifications from my channel, let me know how you, oh, no, I can't open chat. Okay, cool. That's not really helpful at all. I obviously want to be able to see your questions, so it would be great if they would let me see this. Let's see. No, it's disabled for this live stream. Okay. Hopefully you guys are actually being able to do this. Live control room, view on watch page. Being able to do this. Sorry guys, this happens every single time we do this and I can't figure it out. Anyway, I hope you're having a good week. I don't know, I kind of figured that this would be a good thing to do today because I don't know if you've seen the news, but there's been another terrorist attack here in London. Thankfully, it wasn't quite to the level that the last couple have been. And they actually have caught the guy, which is good too. But yeah, I just like, from the feedback that you guys give me, it seems like it helps when I do these kind of live things, whether it's on my Instagram or if it's on, oh, chat's disabled for this live stream. So you guys are probably like, what the heck? Okay, how the flip do I turn this on then? That's really annoying. Hold on one second. Why is it not letting me turn this on? Oh, so annoying. Oh gosh, these are never easy to do. It's so much easier to do these on Instagram. I don't know if you ever watch my Instagram ones, but okay, looks like this is going. And then it's not letting me. Oh, I'm sorry guys, this is really annoying. It's also really hot today and I just, oh, okay, got it. All right, hopefully that helps. It's really hot today. I have no aircon in my flat ever, so it's been a day for sure. But okay, I think I've gotten it now. Hopefully you can see a live chat window. Let's see. Okay, I think this should work then. Cool. If you can see the chat window. Oh, yay. Hi, Kim. Yay, you did it. Chat is up. Oh, thanks, Scott. Oh, such good news. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, so back to what I was saying. Oh, hi, Marcelo. I'm good, thank you. So yeah, two things. We have had another terrorist attack here today. So yeah, so from the feedback that I get from you guys, it seems like it helps, I guess, put your mind at ease to do these live things where I can answer your questions. And then also it seems like when I do like my Instagram stories of just life going on and everything, that helps to ease your mind. And from what I can say about all of this is that, and as I have been saying for the last about month and a half, is that London, you know, I live here in London. I've lived here for 4 years now, and I don't plan on letting anything that's been happening to stop me from enjoying this amazing city. And the 8 million of us that live here in the city all plan to do the same. And so we're really excited to have you come and visit and experience the city as we love it. I am as well. You know, I still love the city, and we're just really excited to have everybody come, and everyone here is living their lives just the same. That being said, I know that when you don't live here and you're planning to come to this foreign country, into this foreign place, and you're not within the hustle and bustle of the everyday life that I'm seeing every day as we've moved on and kept everything going. I know it's hard for you guys to kind of envision that, but I want you to know that here, even after, you know, obviously these attacks are terrible, people's lives are lost, but we move on, and you'll just notice everybody living their lives here when you come to visit. And actually, everyone's been even nicer than usual, which is a good thing, I think. So anyway, so I hope that these Q&As kind of help. Second thing is that it is really bloody hot here these last few days. It's 87 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 31 degrees Celsius. And that's not hot, I know, for like those of you from Texas and some of you from, oh my God, that's like nothing. But we don't have any air con here usually. There's none in my flat. And it's a bit humid. There's no breeze. So us Brits are just freaking out because, well, I'm not a Brit, but you know what I mean. We're just freaking out because it's so hot today. I have my little pool out on the balcony. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but yeah, still trying to just like keep my place as cool as possible. And if you're coming the next few days, you're going to have this hot weather as well, which is great, but just to warn you. Cool. All right. So should we do some Q&A? I feel like let's just jump into it and answer some questions. I title this Q&A as like for trip planning. So asking your questions about that, but anything about London is fine that you want to ask, and I'll try to answer everything that I can. Cool, 73 of you on here. That's awesome. Okay, Kim said, pretend you're in Florida. You know, Kim, I'm actually usually really good with the heat. The problem with heat here is that some places have air conditioning, but most people here don't live with air conditioning. So, and I'm on the 5th floor, so the heat is like really rising. I need to go get a fan, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to be sold out everywhere. And so, yeah, I think the heat, like, I'm usually okay. Like, it gets hotter than this in New York where I'm from, but it's just that we don't have, like, at night, you don't have any respite because you don't have air con to help you out. Yeah, Scott said 120 degrees here in Arizona this week. Exactly, I know, we're complaining. I have to say, too, is that the underground, yeah, most of the underground trains don't have air conditioning as well. So that is like when you're commuting and it's already, everyone's packed into a small space on the tube, that just makes it even worse. Oh, God. Okay, so questions. Baby Scath, I said, I was in London 19 years ago and wanted so bad to go into Tower of London. It was closed. So this December, I hope to go there. Do you recommend it for someone who is fond of history? Yeah, I think that's the perfect place for you to go if you're fond of history, for sure. Definitely. Good question. Ben said, everyone is saying it's warm. Let's just agree it's warm everywhere, but it's worse in the UK with no air conditioning. Sure, yeah. Maria said, coming to London mid-July with family, thinking of canceling. Your thoughts? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I think you'll regret it if you cancel it. So I don't know if you were in here, Maria, when I was talking about my take on everything, but you know, I live here. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I don't plan on letting anything that's happened from stopping me. Honestly, all of this stuff could happen in your own hometown. So what's the point of letting it ruin your life and hold you back from doing things? Because that's exactly what they want. Olive Clark, I'm coming in August to visit some universities and I need access to Wi-Fi. I was doing some research on TEP Wireless, but the majority of reviews are poor. Should I get a SIM? Okay. I've never used TEP Wireless before. That's who I usually recommend because I've heard that they're good, but if you're seeing the reviews are poor, then that's fine. If you have an unlocked phone that you can put a SIM into, yeah, that's fine. Just do that. Andre said, oh, hi, Andre. Could you say which touristic areas are the most overcrowded and when are the peak hours? So in the summer, well, actually most of the time, but the summer is obviously when most of the areas, like in very central London around like Piccadilly Circus and the London Eye, those are going to be quite crowded right now. So what I would do is, if you can like avoid just anything around the biggest tourist areas, like the Tower of London, Westminster, Buckingham Palace, they're going to be absolutely packed for most of the time throughout the day. So if you can avoid those, I mean, if you're going to see those things, you're not really going to be able to avoid them. But yeah, hope that helps a bit. Laius, can you tell us about the Elizabeth Tower and Big Ben renovation? So I haven't been keeping up on this recently. I've only just seen a few days ago that they're actually starting to put the scaffolding up on the Houses of Parliament and on Elizabeth Tower, which most people know as Big Ben. So you might not get the picture perfect photo of Houses of Parliament and Big Ben when you arrive, because they're going to be doing, I'm pretty sure, this construction for a couple of years. And I think the bell was still going off, which Big Ben is actually the bell inside, but it was still going off when I was there Thursday. So yeah, that's all I can probably give you. They haven't really been publishing that much information, because I have been trying to keep up on it, but they just haven't really said very much. Not Another Artist said, I'll be there in July. Is it better to take a taxi or buy an Oyster card to get from Heathrow to South Bank? Well, I mean, there'll be big price differences. Personally, I don't really like taking unless I'm just doing carry-on only, I don't like taking my stuff onto the underground, because it's a lot of stairs and there's not a load of lifts in the stations. So if you can afford to take a taxi or an Uber, I would just personally do that. But if you were going to you're going to obviously save a lot of money if you take public transportation. I'm trying to think. So the Piccadilly line goes from Heathrow, so you'd have to change somewhere in Central. So you would have to get 2 trains as well. So if you can afford to do a taxi, just do a taxi. Lisa, oh, okay, cool. So if you guys can also let me know how you figured out that I was doing this live show. I know I asked that before, but I think that was before I turned on the live chat. Then that would be great. Lisa said notifications for your channel. Cool. Notifications team. Cool. Great. Rick said, headed to London at the end of September, 23rd to 30th. Is that after the tour season? It's still kind of in the mist, but it's quieter because all the kids go back to school. Definitely the high season is June, July, August, and then it starts to taper off from there and gets less and less. But the cool thing is that London is so big. If you can kind of avoid the touristy areas of London, it's not going to seem like it's really crowded. Steve said, I'm going out there in a couple weeks to see Adele at Wembley. Any word about her show with all the recent attacks? Are people afraid to go considering the big venue? I mean, I don't think so. I haven't heard, especially like Adele. I mean, you probably bought those tickets like a year ago. And I know a lot of my friends aren't going to give up on going to see her just because of these cowards, essentially. So yeah, you'll be fine. Just, be alert. And also they're going to just have so much security anyway that it's really, yeah, I would still go if I were you. Cool. Awesome. Oh, okay. So you find out from YouTube from notifications. Awesome. Doug said, I'm coming back to London for 5 nights in late September for my birthday and fully intend to visit Borough Market again for the 2nd time. Amazing. I was at Borough Market the day after it opened, which was Wednesday. Apparently, I just missed seeing Prince Harry, which makes me very upset that I just missed him. I'm not particularly a huge Royals fan, but it still would have been cool to see him. Yeah, and everything was back to normal. All the vendors were super happy to have everybody there. Definitely go and check it out and go and support. And there was tons of security. That's the safest place you could be at this point. Cool. Laura Dean, I'm coming to London the 13th of 27th of August. Will it be cold? I'm from the Caribbean. It could be. It might be like this. I mean, I guess if this is cold to you, then yes, it will be. Cool. Baby Scatha, I imagine Christmas is busy in London. Yeah, it is busy. Not terribly busy. The only places that are really busy around Christmas is Oxford Street and Regent Street. If you can avoid going to those places, or even like just not going to Oxford Circus tube station, which I avoid at all costs during the Christmas season, then pretty much everywhere else is like, I mean, there's people there, but it's not too bad. Rick said, have you changed anything about your routine to be safe for any neighborhoods to avoid at night? The only thing I've changed about my routine, and I think everybody is doing this, is we're all just a bit more alert. And I think also we're being everyone's just, they're doing more of the see something, say something thing, which is a good thing. So no, I'm not changing anything besides that. I'm still going on the tube all the time because I don't really have a choice. And that's how we get around. And I love the tube. So, and, still going out at night and still going to crowded areas and going to touristy areas. And yeah, I haven't changed anything. Cool. Oh, Henry, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, let me answer your question. Hi, Jess. Henry is one of my most active members in the community. So make sure everyone says hello to Henry, because he's always asking great questions and always contributing, and I really appreciate it. Hi, Jess. Our hostel is cheap in central London. Yeah, well, I guess relatively speaking, yeah. I think you can get a bed for pretty cheap. I like the Generator Hostel, and that's near King's Cross Station. There's also Clink, which is supposed to be very good. One of our community members has stayed there a couple times and said it's really good. And considering how expensive hotels can be, a bed in London you can get pretty cheap. So good question. Cool. Just came back from London and saw Prince William when I was there. Oh, that's so cool, Nicola. That's awesome. Marcelo said, can you name some things you had troubles with when trying to fly, be it domestic or international flights, with them in your carry-on luggage? I don't think I've ever had trouble with anything in my carry-on luggage. The only things, sometimes I forget to take out my camera or my Kindle, and then it's not every airport, but sometimes they make you take those out and then they like swab them to make sure they're okay. And then but I'm always really good at making sure that all my electronics are charged. So if I need to turn them on to show them that it's a battery, not anything else, then I'm really good at that. And yeah, I think that's it really. I'm pretty good with my carry-on stuff. I don't really bring anything that I've had trouble with. Kathy said, do you know anything about the Chelsea cloisters and Chelsea in general? So I haven't been to the cloisters, but Chelsea's really a lovely area. It's very high end. You'll see lots of expensive cars there. Everything's a bit more expensive there, but they do have some good food options. I actually just had a brunch at this place called, I'm going to forget the name of it now. Chicama, that was it. And it was Peruvian food. It was very heavy, very seafoody, but which I'm not particularly seafoody, but they made me some non-seafood stuff, which was delicious. And the whole restaurant is like a picture perfect Instagram, has this beautiful little terrace. So there's loads of good food spots there. It's a good area. Lisa, should I bring a winter coat with me for November? You probably will need that, but you need to check the forecast before you come. Cool. I'm getting lots of questions, so sorry if I'm missing anybody. I will try to get as many as I can. So I'm going to do this for about until about 6 o'clock. So I'll try to get as many as I can. Okay, let's see. Nicola, what I didn't know was that staying more in the east side of the city, because I stay closer to the Tower of London, is that most things close earlier on that side. So I think, yeah, well, that's kind of like a generalization. I think around the Tower of London, because it's such a touristy area, that things probably close quite early. I think things close earlier, a little bit earlier here than they would say in the US, but that's like the touristy focus thing. So for example, a lot of sites will close around 5:30. That sometimes is extended in the summer because obviously it's quite busy. If you go to places that are like more local, so if you were by the Tower of London, if you had gone to like towards Aldgate East and Shoreditch and that area, you would see that things are open a lot, like way later there. Oh, and then on that, Edgardo said, what time do Oxford Street shops close? It does vary, but I think they're open till like at least 7 or 8 o'clock, which is a bit later than some other high street stores. Cool. Annette said, I wanted to ask, do Brits get offended if you keep asking them to repeat things? I'm worried I might not understand what they're saying time and time again. I mean, no, it's okay. Because sometimes they can't understand. I'm not sure where you're from, but like they can't understand everyone else's accent. Even sometimes like specific American accents, even though they've heard the accent a million times on TV, they sometimes struggle a little bit. So no, you'll be fine. And also don't forget, London's super multicultural. So a lot of people that you'll encounter are not British. So, and they'll have accents or maybe not even speak English fluently. So if you have to ask them, that's completely fine. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, and then so Rick, that's a good question. So if you're taking the tube to the hotel from Heathrow, don't have to change lines. Is it a pain? I think there's still stairs and stuff. It depends on what station that you're getting off at, but you're still gonna have to like lug your stuff upstairs and everything. If you have big suitcases, I wouldn't recommend it. Saturday, it shouldn't be too bad crowd-wise. Like it shouldn't be too crowded on the tube. Cool. Wow, loads of questions. Okay, let's see. I don't want to miss anyone, but cool. Lisa's hearing a lot about Shoreditch recently. Where would you suggest to eat and shop there? Well, Lisa, in my guide that I'm currently creating and was working on really hard today, I will have a bunch of suggestions for that area. A couple of places you can, to start you off, if you like Peruvian, there's a place called Andina. And that's really, it's very gluten-free friendly. So anybody who's looking for gluten-free spots, that's a great place for you to go. Almost everything on the menu is gluten-free. And then there's some good food like markets that kind of stay there most of the time. So there is, I think it's called Pump. And it has a bunch of little stalls you can go into for lunch. There is Box Park that has like street foodie stuff. You can go there, but there's loads of other places that are good around there too. And I'll load more in the guide, in the My London guide. Cool. Sorry, it's going really fast. So it's like I'm trying to read them and then. Jillian, how's the weather at the moment? Very hot. You missed my rant at the beginning, I think, where I was saying it's 87 degrees right now, which is very hot for England, especially because most of us don't have aircon. Amy Finning, on which days is the airport in Heathrow least busy? I'm trying to plan a trip this summer. The summer, they're all going to be busy. Every day will be busy. Elias, I know I'm saying your name wrong because you mentioned this before, but I'm so sorry. But it'd be amazing if you had a walking tour. Do you have plans about it? I have been thinking a load about that recently. I'm trying to figure it out, maybe, possibly. But if you could let me know what kind of walking tour you'd want, because I'm not really like, I'd prefer to do more of like a local one. Obviously, there's a load of stuff that goes into that. So maybe eventually I will do that. Despina said, I'm from Greece. If I want to stay in the center of London, which hotel is the best? Last time I went, I stayed at St. Giles. Is really close to everything. So Despina, I actually have a free guide. It's like, I think 40 pages long of recommendations of areas to stay when you come to London, and also specific Airbnb, hotel, and hostel recommendations. And I also have 4 videos on my accommodation series on all of that. So if you have a look on my YouTube channel, that will be much better than me trying to answer it right now. Oh, Rick said, do all tubes have escalators or lift? Gloucester Road is where our hotel is. No, they don't. So you can tell on the map, there's certain symbols that will show. Some of them, a couple, not many of them have lifts. Some of them have, it will say like step-free access to train or step-free access to platform, which means there's still a couple steps in between. I have to say London's underground system is not particularly accessible. So, I'd have to look on the map. If you just look on a regular tube map, it'll have all of that indication. Also, if you go on the TfL website, it will tell you all about that too, because I'm not sure about that specific, about Gloucester Road. Cool. Andrew, what do you reckon is the best part to live in London with a 25K salary a year? It's really hard for me to answer that. I've only lived in a couple of areas, so anything, honestly, anything you can actually afford, just live there, because it's not to say that your salary is low. It's on par with entry level salaries in London, but it's just so expensive to live here that anything you can find, really, I would just grab it. Lucinda, I'll be studying abroad there from mid-January to May. Should I bring a winter coat? Yeah, definitely. I would 100%. Any specific kind of coat, anything that's going to keep you warm, to be honest. Or if you like really want to, you could always come and buy a coat here. Cool. Oh, hi, Dave. Hello. Dave is another one of our very active community members. So it's good to see him on here. Rob said, how different is the food in England versus the US? It is not that different. So here in London, we have, it's kind of like New York City, where you can get any type of food you ever would want here. And you can get it for cheap, or you can go really high end. So yeah, I guess it just depends. The food also, I think generally speaking, food here is healthier. You get more vegetables. There's way more emphasis on getting vegetables here, and like less on like fat and cheese and stuff than in the US. But that being said, it depends. So yeah, cool. Natalie, the best app for route planning for the tube. Yeah, I have loads of videos about transportation on my channel, but I always recommend City Mapper in those videos. All right, Elias, I'll try to see if I could do a walking tour. I have been offering like hire a local for individual people. So I did one last week, and I'm doing one on Friday. The only thing is that they take a lot of time, and I would rather like, it just takes a lot of time away from working, really. So I do have that, but it's going to be up to you if you would want to do that. Cool. Edgardo said Wimbledon begins July 3rd. Does it get really crowded because of this, or just business as usual? So it gets kind of crowded around Wimbledon. Wimbledon's in zone 3, so it's not in central London. It's actually a really lovely area. So around actual Wimbledon it does, and if you want to try to stay around there, you're going to see, if you can find anything at this point, it's going to be really expensive. But it's in southwest London, so it's not like in the center. It's quite far from the center, so it's not like all of London gets really crowded. It's just that area. Chris said, going to be in London for 3 days, mostly zone 1, with 4 other family members traveling during non-peak time. Should I get an Oyster pass or a travel card? Yeah, get an Oyster card, because the daily travel cards are a complete ripoff. I don't even know why they make them. It's so stupid. Levi, is getting to Oxford relatively easy by train? We would like to avoid a tour and export. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't actually done it myself, but I'm pretty sure it's very easy. If not a train, I think you can get a bus, not like a tour bus, but just like a bus, a transport bus. Cool, good questions, everyone. Thanks for contributing. We have 83 of you on here. That's pretty cool. I hope if you're finding it helpful and making it, I don't know, I hope you're finding it helpful. Organic moments. I'm 18 and I'll be going to London, staying in Wimbledon this summer. Can you suggest some affordable activities I can attend this summer? I'll be there July 26th to August 8th. Affordable activities. So, I mean, there's just loads of free things you can do. Like, all the parks are completely free to visit. I'm thinking like around Wimbledon. There's loads of parks around Wimbledon. Time Out has a really good list of like free things to do, free exhibits and free events that you can go to. That's probably a really good place for you to start, because I'm not really sure on those dates exactly like the cheap stuff to do off the top of my head. Bree said, is it better to pay with cash or card? It doesn't matter. Just always have some cash on you, just in case if you go to like a market or something and they will only take cash and not card. Douglas, do you buy a lot of fresh fruit and veg from Borough Market? No, I don't. Loads of people do, but I don't live that close to Borough Market. So it's, I would have to lug it all the way back to my place. So not me. Oh, Steve, Wimbledon, how do we get tickets? So I did this a couple years ago. You can't buy any tickets right now, but what you can do is you can go and queue up really early in the morning. So I did this on the second Monday of the tournament. And you essentially go and get online for at like, we went at about 5:30 in the morning, and we think we got into the grounds at about 10:30. I wouldn't go any later than 5:30 because we were able to snag a spot on the hill. And yeah, it kind of worked out perfectly. But it is like, they have a really good system where you can't like hold spots for anyone. And they give you, as soon as you get online, they give you a ticket with your number, and you can't leave and then come back. Like, you can go to the toilet and stuff, but you can't. It's a really, really good system. They know how to queue really well here in England. So yeah, if you can do that, I think they're like £25 a ticket. And then that'd be good fun. That'd be really good if you get a nice day, especially. Cool. Is London overcrowded in the beginning of August? Bruno said. So again, if you're like going to like the major sites and stuff, I mean, yeah, it's really crowded. I can't sugarcoat it for you, but if you can like go see those sites if you really have to, and then venture out of Central a little bit, then it won't be that bad at all. It'll be quite enjoyable. Cool. Kathy, I don't know. I've never been to the market in St. Albans. How long should I give myself to travel between the tube and the train? I'm not sure. Do you mean specifically at St. Albans? But I can't. Not really. I don't know. Marie, is Gay Pride something to see? Yeah, so Gay Pride's going to be really cool this year, I think. And there's stuff on all month of July. So if you can go to like again, Time Out London's going to have a really good guide if they don't already, as to really cool things to do and when the parade is, and just like there's going to be loads of parties. It'll be really fun. It would definitely be worth trying to get involved in some of that. Courtney, have you visited outside London a lot? I'd like to know more about visiting smaller towns around London. Yeah, not as much as I would have liked to be completely honest, but I have. So you could try maybe like Bath if you wanted to go there. Brighton's really nice if you potentially want to go swimming if it's warm enough, although the beach is rocks, it's not sand, just so you know. Yeah, there's loads of places. I just Windsor's really nice. There is other places I want to visit. I'm trying to do this summer. It's just time and money, unfortunately. So I do want to do more guides about, I've said this before, like day trips out of London and weekend trips out of London. It's just that it's just so expensive to do that, because I have to go, I have to stay over for a night, I have to get someone probably to come and film for me. I need to do all the research, and yeah, it's just like loads of work and money for me to put in. So I'm hoping eventually I'll get there. But if I could just get like sponsored by the tourist boards, that'd be awesome. But you know how that goes. Michael said, have you taken the line from King's Cross to France? Any thoughts? Yeah, so I've gone down to Avignon with the Eurostar. I've gone to Paris. I've gone to Brussels. Yeah, I particularly love Eurostar. I think it's really comfortable. I don't know if affordable is the right word. It depends on when you go, but I love going on the train. It's great, and it's quite quick. Cool. Awesome. So, okay, some of these questions I don't know if I have answers to, but I can kind of try to go through them. D Gray, best inexpensive clothes shopping areas for men and women. I guess, well, inexpensive is relative, so it's hard for me to say. I also have personal feelings and beliefs about inexpensive clothing places and how they contribute to the environment and the global workforce. So maybe I'm not the right person to ask for that. However, thrift stores. So Notting Hill actually has some really great thrift stores if you can go there, and Westbourne Grove, which is right by. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's actually loads of and this is something I've never seen in the US, but London and the UK have loads of charity shops. So these big UK-wide charities will rent out shops on high streets in loads of different towns, and they take donations there, and then they sell the donations. And so that's a really good way to thrift. But if you go to the fancier areas like Notting Hill and Chelsea, a lot of the people that drop off really nice things. So if you like designer stuff, then that's probably a good place to look. There's also Rocket Vintage, which I think they have a couple of different places now, but I think one's in Westbourne Grove that is really high-end vintage. I've been there before, and they have Gucci from the 70s and stuff like that. And then if you go also to Shoreditch and around the East End, there's loads of thrift stores there as well for clothing and all kinds of other stuff. Cool. Any favorite restaurants in Shoreditch/Hoxton? Yeah, I did say before the Andina is one of my favorites in Shoreditch. If you can get to Dishoom in Shoreditch during a breakfast or a lunch when doesn't have a line, that's another good one as well. Cool. What? Oh, Annette, okay. What one thing that tourists do a lot that Londoners hate? Also, is London really a 24-hour economy, or are you best off the street after a certain time? What's one thing that tourists do that a lot of Londoners hate? Sometimes tourists are very loud, which I can say this, I think, because I'm American, but and it's not just Americans, I guess, but tourists can be voices seem to project. Even people from England, it can seem that way sometimes too. So I think if you're in a nice restaurant, just try to be conscious of how loud your voice is. And then I think also one other thing, and again, this might be an American thing, I'm not sure. I have definitely noticed it in Americans, but it could also be other countries as well. I think maybe if you just don't live in a city, this is how people act. But Londoners, they're not unfriendly, and oftentimes they're happy to engage in conversation. But I think when people come to visit, they don't pick up the cues when someone's trying to if you're trying to talk to your waiter and you're having this long conversation and they're trying to they have 4 other tables they have to work on. I think I've noticed that tourists oftentimes don't really pick on the cues that this person doesn't want to continue this conversation anymore. It's not that they're being rude. It's just they've talked to you about everything they feel they need to talk to you about, and they have other things they have to do. So yeah, that's probably it. I think, as in any city, tourists often are kind of not in the way, but in the most touristy areas are kind of, I guess, in the way, but that's just how it is. You guys are trying to figure out where they are, where you're going and stuff. So don't worry about that. Cool. I'm going to kill this guy. Or not. I'm going to delete this guy because he's not very nice. Cool. Oh, thank you, Henry. Another $10. You're the best. Thank you for the super chat. Jess, did you find San Francisco's weather similar to London? Have you also been to San Diego? If so, how did you like San Diego? Oh, you're going to Comic-Con next month. Cool. Okay, so that's a good question. So is San Francisco's weather similar to London's? Trying to think when I was there. I think it's San Francisco's a teeny bit warmer. I'm trying to think when I was there. It wasn't that cold when I was there in October, but then it was colder definitely in London. It's kind of similar, but I think the extremes are bigger in London than in San Francisco. And I've never been to San Diego, although I'd love to go. Good question. Thank you, Henry, for the super chat. Cool. Paige, what is a good and cheap place to take a day trip outside of London? So I don't know how particularly cheap, they're all going to be probably the same amount. Brighton's not very far, so that would be probably a good one in terms of how much you're going to pay for the train. Windsor would be also not terribly far. I think Bath's a little bit farther. York is a little bit farther. So yeah. Oh, Oxford Street has loads of cancer research shops. Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen one of them, but cool. Okay. Emma, what is hire a local? Oh, so essentially, like, instead of me being a tour guide, because I'm not a tour guide, I don't really know loads about history and like the big sites around London, but it's more of like, I would be hired to kind of like hang out with you. We can walk around and I'll show you some like points of interest that I think as a local are interesting. We could sit down and I could recommend a food spot and we can just chat. And then I can also like help you if you're uncertain about how to use the underground or like any other questions. Essentially, that's what I can help with. Cool. Kathy, so when we were there in middle of September, would you be available for being a tour guide for us? Yeah, possibly. So if you shoot me an email, then I haven't decided it. I need to check my schedule for September as well. But yeah, but like I said, it wouldn't be quite as much like a tour guide, more of like a hangout, almost like if you had a friend that lived in London and you like were going to spend 3 hours with them and they were just going to kind of show you around and stuff. Cool. Good questions, everyone. Thank you so much for contributing. Boy, I'm getting really hot sitting here. The sun is, I have the blinds closed, but the sun is like really beating down on me now. Oof. Maria, we want to visit Stratford upon Avon. Have you been, and is it worth maybe spending the day there? Yeah, I have been there, but it was for an event, so I didn't really particularly get to see that much. I guess if you're really into Shakespeare, that would be a good place to go, but I can't really comment on that, I think, because yeah. Rick said, are small travel backpacks allowed in most tourist places since the terror attacks? Yeah, that's fine. They just check them. They'll scan them and stuff. Cool. Kim said, we'll be renting a car and driving to Scotland. Any thoughts or suggestions? I'm not sure. Thoughts or suggestions? I haven't been to Scotland yet, so if that's what you're after, I cannot help at this time, but I'm going in August. What was your favorite place to go in Brighton? So, I don't know. I mean, just hanging out on the beach is nice. In Brighton, there's these lanes. They're kind of like small little alleyways where there's really sweet shops, and everyone always likes to like go and see those, and there's good shopping there. I haven't been for a really long time, but there's a really good vegetarian restaurant there called Terre à Terre. It's spelled Terre, and the food is really good there. Cool, guys. Natalie said, best phone carriers to get a SIM card from while I'm there. I used Leica Mobile last time. I don't know if there's a better one. They're not going to be that different, really, to be honest. I mean, I'm particularly on, it's not pay as you go, but I'm on a contract with O2, but it's not amazing. The service in London is just not very good. So, yeah. Cool. Did I kind of get everyone? Natalie, your recommendations on museums that are a must-see. I don't know. I'm not really a huge museum person, to be honest. I think there's loads of information on this online, so I can't really give you. The V&A is cool, I guess. I like the fashiony bit in there, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I haven't, and it's been like a really long time since I've been in a lot of the museums, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about that. But there's loads of information online. There's like so many people that talk about museums and things like the most touristy things, which is why I try to focus more on, and why my guide is about the local things to do in London, because there's so much information out there, but it's all about like the touristy bits, which is fine because that's what you guys want to do. But I want to give you the information that's like what actually the locals do and stuff. So I hope that makes sense. Cool. I think I might have gotten all the questions. Let's see. Oh, Rick, so how bad is the service in London? Would you recommend printing a lot of info out in case of no signal? I mean, you can just save it to your phone, I think. But yeah, definitely have. My 3G is just terrible. So I try to save, like anytime I have tickets and stuff on my phone, I just save it as a photo to my phone so that I don't have to worry about trying to get signal. But that's kind of anywhere, I guess, probably. Ahmad, I'm sorry, I'm not qualified to answer that question. Helen said, which clubs or pubs would you recommend in downtown London area? So there's not really a downtown London. If you say downtown London to someone who lives here, they won't know what you mean. I'm guessing you probably mean like South London. So if you want to go to like Brixton, I think they have a couple of good bars there. I'm putting a few actually pretty good chunk of drinking spots in my London guide, but one of them that will be in there is called Barrio. That's a good one. And yeah, I'm not a club person, so I don't really have any clubs I can recommend. And then there's just so many pubs. You can find pubs anywhere, like wherever you happen to be, you can find a good pub. The Churchill Arms is like a really famous one that's supposed to have really, really good Thai food. So if you want to eat there, you can, but it's also covered in flowers. So you probably see it on Instagram or something. And then, yeah, so most of the pubs I usually go to are quite far outside London because they're close to where I am. But if you just ask your hotel or your Airbnb host, they'll be able to recommend loads for you. Bree said, what is the street style right now in London for women? It's kind of mixed, so it's really hard to answer this question. I try to guide you guys as much as possible. I mean, because there's like a lot of people that are really into trends, which like high-waisted jeans are trends, high-waisted shorts, like I guess whatever it's kind of like the mod stuff and hippie stuff's in right now. But then also there's a lot of people who do go for like quite classic style. Personally, I try to like stay away from trends and stuff. So I would really just whatever you're comfortable in, you'll be fine. Katerina, how to be a respectful tourist? That is a great question. I actually just put a video on my channel on Thursday about how to do that. So if you have a watch of that, that will help you. But that's a really good question, and it's great that you're even asking that. But yeah, that video will for sure help you out. What does it mean? What does strike mean? Like tube strike or workers on strike? So a strike is when the workers they aren't happy with their working conditions, so they stop working because they're in a union. So when there's a tube strike, that means it depends on who's striking and stuff. But if there's a tube strike, then it's likely that some of the lines you won't be able to use on the tube, or it could be all of them. It just depends. We haven't had a tube strike in a while, actually, which is good because last year we had loads. And then when that happens, you can usually still use buses, you can usually still use the overground trains, or you could just get a taxi. Cool. Good. Natalie, do you wear heels when you go out at night, or wedges or flats? Also, any haunted areas that are cool to check out? When I go out, I usually wear heeled boots or wedges. I don't really wear heels because just my feet usually hurt. Sometimes flats if I'm just doing a casual night, but usually I will wear heels because I like to wear heels even like when I go out to dinner. Haunted areas. I think there's a haunted Jack the Ripper tour in East London, so maybe have a look at that and see if it's what you're looking for. Avis Slacks 16. If I don't do all the suggested things to do with the London Pass, is it still worth to get it? Well, there's like 60 things I think that you can use with the London Pass. So it's impossible to do all of them, but you have to I have a video about how to figure out if this is going to be worth it for you. You pretty much have to figure out what you would want to see and add up the costs and see if it makes sense for what the cost of the pass is going to be. Where can we have traditional fish and chips and English breakfast? You can get English breakfast at most pubs. A lot of hotels will do English breakfast. There are so many places you can do it. I don't even know where I've actually had. I don't particularly like English breakfast, so I actually the Breakfast Club is supposed to have a good English breakfast, ironically, even though it's an American place or an American style place. Traditional fish and chips, I would recommend Poppy's in Spitalfields. No, tourists can't walk. Tourists can walk into the hospital anytime, but it's not free for them. So yeah, you should always make sure you have travel insurance when you come. One thing you hate about London? That's a great question, Tegan. One thing I do hate is that it is quite expensive, a quite expensive city. So it takes a long time to get everywhere, which is part of the reason why I wanted to create this guide, this London guide for you guys that includes a digital map. Because, for example, I sometimes love to go to client's office that's in Clerkenwell. Clerkenwell is only about 7 miles from where I live, but it takes me door to door an hour and 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I have colleagues that come from outside of London that are like 25 miles away, and it takes them the exact same amount of time. So it is very expensive. And so, yeah, so that's why I wanted to include this map of all the recommendations in the London guide, because I didn't want to give you a recommendation to go to this restaurant and then you put it into City Mapper, you're all set to go, you made the reservation, and then you find out it takes you an hour to get there. Because there's loads of great places that you can eat in London, loads of great places you can have brunch, lots of cool things to see, and you don't have to travel that far and waste that time of traveling. So, yeah, that's probably the one thing I hate the most about the city. Also, the weather could be better, but besides that, it's okay. I actually like that it's usually quite mild. Is there a Latino community in London? Yes, there is. There's every community here in London. Cool. Do people in London actually drink tea a lot, or is that a stereotype? Yeah, they do. People love coffee here, though, but they definitely drink tea here more than in the US. So for sure, yeah, like I actually only really drink tea. I don't really drink coffee. So I fit in very well here, Natalie. Yeah. Weatherspoons is the best for English breakfast by far. I'm not really a huge fan of Weatherspoons, but I'm sure it's nice and cheap. So Weatherspoons is a chain of pubs, like really quite affordable pubs, but I'm not really a huge fan, but some people always go to them. Teresa, I'm from Mexico. It's hard to find pounds here. Can I change easier euros to pounds there? I think you can do, and even if you want to bring, you guys have pesos, right? So I think euros is great, but also I think if you even bring pesos, that's fine. Chris said, I keep hearing that shorts and ball caps are not recommended and I should avoid them to avoid being picked out as a tourist in London, Paris, Italy. I was hoping to wear both due to heat. Yeah, I don't particularly, I mean, sometimes people here wear baseball hats, but it's not like in the US. And yeah, if you wear like actual baseball cap, it does make you stand out because it's just like a very, I'm guessing you're American, Chris, but it's a very American thing to do. Shorts are fine. I mean, it gets really hot here. So if you wear shorts, that's completely fine. The only thing I would say is that try not to wear shorts in the evening. If you're going to dinner or going out, then I would wear dark jeans or like chino trousers. I wouldn't wear shorts in the evening because you'll just be underdressed even more than standing out. That's a good question. Is ice still hard to get in drinks in pubs? I haven't actually tried to get ice, but it's not, no, it's not hard to get. You can just have to ask for it. Have you met any celebs in London? Baby Scatha. I told a story in the last Q&A I did. My husband was chased out of a restaurant called Sexy Fish by, now I'm going to forget this guy's name. I don't know if anyone was on it and they remember what this guy's name was. He was a professional boxer. I don't know who he was, but I've met him before. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think I've seen celebrities before, but see, you guys wouldn't know who this was because I didn't know who this was, but there is this band. I'm not going to tell a story because I don't think it's going to be relevant. I didn't know who it was, so it's a funny story, but Hans, travel with kids, what can you recommend to us? I mean, what are you looking for specifically? I don't have kids, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about this. If you go on my Pinterest account, Hans, I have a Pinterest board of London with kids because I've tried to collate everything that I've been able to find on this matter that's actually produced by parents because I don't know anything about it. So that's a good starting point for you. Raisher B, just got back from my first London trip. Thanks, Jess, for all your videos and guides. Very helpful. Oh, amazing. You're welcome. So glad you had a great time. Tegan said, thank you for introducing City Mapper last year. Any more app suggestions? I use Instagram a lot to try to find like what food to get, I guess, at restaurants. So if you click on like the restaurants, location tag, you can see like what people usually order. And then also now you can start to find, you can use like their Instagram story to see what people are doing in London, I guess. I'm trying really hard to not use my phone very much anymore. So I'm not a really big app person, so I don't really have loads, but let me have a quick look to see what I have. I just use like WhatsApp to communicate. Yeah, I don't really have anything else actually. No, that's it. I'm sorry, I wish I could. Rick, shorts underdressed even at casual places. No, not at casual places, but like, I guess it depends on what's a casual place. If you're at like a fast foodish restaurant, that's fine. Dan DTV, are the theater shows cheaper in London compared to NYC? No, I don't think, I think they're on par with New York. It depends on which show you're seeing, obviously. They do have those TKTS boots here. I haven't particularly done it myself, and it's something I do want to try out because I know it would be interesting to make some content about it. Yeah, but otherwise you can just order tickets online. Just try to order as early as you can. You can get cheap tickets if you can go during the week, during the matinee. So if you're visiting and like during the week, that's perfect. Sarah, what area of London is your favorite and why? Ooh, it's hard to say. I really like the East London because it's like quirky and weird and there's such good food there. But then I love West London because it's actually beautiful. So it's hard to say. Levi said, is there street food or food trucks in London like in NYC? Yeah, it's not as prevalent as in New York City, but we definitely do have them. And there's like a lot of markets where you'll find them and they'll pull up there during like lunchtime, but also on the weekends. But yeah, they don't park up on the street as much as they do in New York, just like anywhere. Krista said, where's a good place to walk along the Thames? If you go to South Bank, that's a really good area, but anywhere you can go. I mean, I'm trying to think. If you go by Tower Bridge, there's this place called London Riviera that has like, you can get drinks and stuff there. So that's nice too. That connects to the South Bank. Anna, is London safe now? Yes. Annette, if you feel like someone is following you or you are feeling paranoid because of what is happening, can you just walk into a police station or you'll look crazy? Yeah, that's fine. If you see a cop, just go up to them. Or if you're on your own and you feel uncomfortable, just go up to anyone and just ask if you can walk with them, or dip into a shop or a bar or a pub and just get to anywhere where there's going to be other people. I think that's a good rule of thumb for anywhere that you go, really. Brian, I'm glad your trip was successful to London. How safe is it to use a tablet or laptop in a park or sat in a square, said Marcelo. I wouldn't do that. A lot of people do, but there's been a little bit more of a rise in moped theft, so I just wouldn't do it. Lias said, a video series about the areas of London would be great and useful. I do have a couple of videos about that. So there's one about Covent Garden, and then there's one about offbeat, like less touristy areas to visit. So those would be helpful. Pickpocketers are a problem in London. They're not, it's not too bad compared to other places in Europe, but definitely just make sure that you're not putting anything in your back pocket and like just be aware of what you're doing. Scott, would you recommend not doing an overnight trip to Paris? Bad idea. I mean, overnight's not that bad, but Paris is like, man, there's just so much to see there, and it's a big city, and it's just like London. Like, I would never recommend 2 days in London. There's just way too much to do. So I would definitely just recommend that you just save that for another trip, because also you have to there's the expense of the train. It's just a lot of traveling and stuff that you're going to be doing. It's going to tire you out. How early does London decorate for Christmas? Late November, early December? Early December, but some places start late November. What are those nut things they sell on the streets? Chestnuts, maybe? I don't know if I've ever seen those. Oh, maybe I have. What's the emergency number in London? It's 999, Brie. Cool. Driver UK, I wouldn't say it's the day after bonfire night that Christmas stuff goes up. I think it's later in London, maybe in the rest of the UK. It's that's the case, but it's a bit early. Henry, no, I haven't been to any Adele concerts. I kind of been a concert person, but not as much as I used to be. Can you talk about pub etiquette? Actually, Jasmine, I'm going to be doing a video about this next month about drinking etiquette here. So a couple of things to know when you go to a pub is that you always, even if you're sitting down to have meals, you're most likely going to have to go up to the bar to order your food, and then they'll bring it out to you. But they most likely won't be coming to your table to take your order. And a lot of times if you're having drinks at the pub with a few people, Londoners will they'll buy in rounds. So one person will get the first round, someone will get the second round. So yeah, just don't be in too big of a group. Otherwise, if you're like the seventh round, you're going to be really drunk and have to pay a lot of money. Cool. Brian, is London a good place to visit during December? Because I know that the daylight is not so long those days. Yeah, it's really lovely in December. There's lots of Christmas stuff coming up. I mean, it gets cold, but there's loads to do even if the days are shorter. So you just have to know what you're doing, really. And just do your research and figure out what you want to do. And make sure you get up early enough to do the stuff you need the daylight for at the beginning of the day, and then everything else that doesn't matter if it's day or not, do that at the end of the day. Cool, I'm gonna just get rid of this guy. Cool, good questions, guys. Thank you so much for submitting them. Can't believe how many people have been on here. That's great. I wasn't sure, like, time-wise. I know I didn't want to do it too late because I need to, like, kind of make dinner, and I'm trying to get to bed a little earlier and stuff because it's so hot. But I'm planning to celebrate my birthday in Hayes. So what is a good location for a nice dinner? I'm not sure where Hayes is, so I don't know if I can help. I'm planning to go back to London. Where would it be good to stay if I want to stay somewhere cheaper via Airbnb? The last time I stayed at South Ken. Nick, I have a massive free guide to where to stay in London on my YouTube channel. So if you download that, it will help with that. Douglas said, Harrods Christmas shop is open in August. I know, I was in it, yet outside was 30 degrees. Have you ever visited? Yeah, a Christmas shop there is open all year round. I think like Selfridges and John Lewis, it's open all year round too. Do you feel like the drinking age being 18 is a good or bad thing after living in the US and UK? What is your personal opinion? I think it's a good thing. I wouldn't say it stops people from drinking because people get quite drunk here a lot too. But I just think, I've always thought before I even moved here that I just think it's ridiculous that you can vote and die for your country when you're under 21, but you can't drink a beer. I mean, it's just stupid. So good question. Oh, I removed this guy, but let's block. Are you enjoying the hot weather? It's too humid. Yeah, it's quite humid, isn't it, Fraser? It's okay. It'll be fine. It's going to go down in a few days. Stacy said, hi, Jess. If I'm flying in and out of Heathrow and I want to shop in Paris, how do I get a VAT refund in Heathrow? So I've never done this before, but there's designated VAT refund stalls that you go to, I think, before you go through security. And yeah, I think you also, when you're at the shops, you need to tell them that you need a VAT receipt. Chris said, Oyster cards for kids. I have 14-year-old and 17-year-old sons. Okay, so yeah, you can, yeah, I think if you buy them online, you can get a kids one. The 17, I think it's 14 and under, though, or 16 and under. And then the 17-year-old will just get a regular one. There's more on the Visit London site about Oyster cards for kids. There's loads on there, and that's usually the link I send everyone when they ask me this for it. So if you just do a search on there, you'll find it. What are some of your favorite spots for afternoon tea in London? Reasonable prices. Megan asked that. So I have a whole section on afternoon tea in my guide. To start you off, though, I mean, reasonable price, again, is a subjective term. You'll probably pay between like 22 and anywhere up to like 80 pounds for afternoon tea. But the Charlotte Street Hotel is 32 pounds. I think that's quite reasonable, that one. Dominique, can you recommend good places with cheap but decent food in London? So that's a really general question, and there's loads of places like that, which is why, again, that all that's going to be in the guide that's going to come out in a few weeks if you haven't already pre-ordered it. So, but like markets are actually really good for cheap and inexpensive food, so you can try there. Like any market really is going to have good food pretty much. Daniel will be in London next Friday. Amazing. Cool. Jess, you can have children at 16, vote 18, and drink at 18. You can have children whenever. There's no law against having children before 16. What is the best way to get from London Heathrow to Mayfair? So Leo, if you use Citymapper or go on googlemaps.com, you can look that up yourself and figure out what's going to be best for you to get there. Cool. All right. I think I'm going to call it then because we have gone over an hour. So even with my little faff around in the beginning. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining the call. And if you're watching in the future, then thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope to have, I'm going to have a couple more of these in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out. If you'll get emails from me. If you're not on my email list, then if you download my free London 101 guide, which you can get on my website or on my YouTube channel, you'll see a little button for it. I always let you guys know ahead of time when I'm going to have this, except this one I only sent an email a couple hours ago because I decided to do it quite quick. But yeah, so that's it. All right, have a good rest of your day, guys, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.